Good early afternoon. We're live. I'm Andy Andrews. You've joined us on the Blue Plate Special Tuesday edition. It's Tuesday, right? Isn't it Tuesday? Yeah, okay. It's the Tuesday edition, which means we're broadcasting all over. This is going to Facebook, YouTube, X, LinkedIn, and wisdomharbor.com. All live. Like as you hear me do this, that just happened. How about that? We've got a great show for you today. We're excited to be here. If you're joining us for the first time, it can get kind of crazy. So, because we kind of halfway don't know what we're doing. But that's how I spend most of my life. So, we've got a good show here for you today, though. We have Herb Hughes in the audience, best-selling author Herb Hughes. I'm still pushing his book, Conecuh. That is the best Civil War story I've ever read. So, Conecuh by Herb Hughes. If you haven't gotten it, that's a must. And what else? Oh, my shirt is from Sand Dollar Lifestyles. Right down here's the cornerstone of the wharf. And they provide the clothing for Mr. Andrews. Remember how they used to do that for Monty Hall? Monty Hall's Wardrobe by Botany 500. And so it's like Andy Andrews' Wardrobe by Sand Dollar Lifestyles. My t-shirts, anyway. I have to buy my own jeans and my own shoes. But, yeah, the t-shirts. Dana Kilpatrick, how are you doing? Hey, thank you for sharing. And Heather Olson in Utah, and you shared. Thank you. Who's ready for fall? Fall means football. You're exactly right. I've also had somebody sent me cheese straws. Now, I love cheese straws. I love them. And so I was automatically excited. But not a single note, nothing in it. Now, these are cheese straws that came from a place, like a store. So I'm sure the store didn't put, but if you, and it is, they're from Auburn. Anybody in Auburn sent cheese straws? I know they didn't come from the football team because they lost a cow on Saturday. So they're not happy enough to send anybody cheese straws. Dana Kilpatrick says, is there anything on the back of my shirt? Is there? I don't think there is. Is there? No, there's not. Like, you see this part? That's what it looks like back here. I think the sole decoration is my little camo pocket here. Demi McFarland, hello. I saw Christy Woods, my sister, is on, and she shared. Thank you for sharing this to Facebook. Christy, we're eating at your house this week sometime. I know. Austin's in town, and Adam's in and out, so we're all going to get together with Aunt Christy and Uncle Steve. And, Christy brought food yesterday. You know, she's a threat to do that. And it was great. My sister makes, she does other things, but among the best that my sister does, she does the best potato salad and the best meatloaf. She probably does some other best things too. I just can't think of them right now. LaDonna Gatlin, hello from Frisco, Texas. LaDonna, are you who I think you are? I think you are. Leslie Ann Tarabella, another best-selling author. Do you know Herb Hughes is in here today? Leslie, hang on to your wallet, or at least tell your husband to hang on to his. That was a great, is it leslietarabella.com? Is that what the...
Yeah, LeslieAnnTarabella.com.
LeslieAnnTarabella.com. Go there and sign up. Put your subscription in. It's free, and she sends you stuff that she writes. And her husband Bob got his pocket picked when they were in Italy, and that was a hilarious story about going through the garbage can, the people watching to see what you were doing. Joy Walker, glad to have you here. We have an odd show. We've got an odd topic. Sandy Atkins, hey, from El Salvador. Hey, so you've been listening to Chris Blue. We just released the Chris Blue podcast. What a voice, he says, and you are right, man. This guy, he is he. I say what a voice. He won The Voice, and Chris has gotten to be a good buddy of mine, and I just love him. But his voice will blow your mind. And so on the podcast today, we attached a couple of songs there, and you get to see what the big deal is. Okay, today we're going weird, and our topic, I've had to do odd research on this, okay? Because when you're trying to find out about Guinness Book of World Records, that's easy to find. But Guinness Book of World Records by state and by weirdness, that's kind of a perspective. You know, you can just kind of pick whether you think it's weird or not, but I think it's weird. So we've got the 20 weirdest Guinness Book of World Records for 20 different states. I X'd out 30 of them because they just weren't weird enough. And so I'm just kidding, but Alabama's in there. And here we go. You ready? So these are weird Guinness Book of World Records that were made in that state. Okay, so state by state. So we're going to start. Oregon starts us off. Nothing weird about Oregon. Oregon has the fastest time for alphabetizing letters in alphabet soup. Hadn't we all thought about alphabetizing the letters in front of us there and in alphabets? Well, Jacob Chandler of Gresham, Oregon, didn't just dream of it, he made it happen. And in 2021, Jacob sorted out the entire athlete. He sorted out the entire alphabet in 2 minutes, 8.6 seconds. The entire alphabet out of a bowl of soup. I wouldn't even have thought the entire alphabet would be in a can. I'd be thinking there'd be a lot of, there's a lot of R's here. There's like a lot of R's, some O's, and 2 A's. But I think the record is that he found a can that had the whole alphabet in it. That's a bigger deal to me than being able to pick them out. It's obviously required strategy, okay, because the bowl and even the spoon had to be in the right place and, to efficiently separate the letters from the soup. But, hey, he did it. So 2 minutes, 8.6 seconds. All right, Connecticut. Now, this is weird, but it's legitimate. I mean, this is just legitimate. If you can get this, the largest collection of hair from historical figures. Okay, that's the record. And in Connecticut, John Resnikoff, he's widely regarded as the world's foremost authenticator of historical artifacts in the Guinness World Record books. He's also known as the guy with the largest collection of hair from historical figures. This treasure features hair from 115 different people, including Elvis, Napoleon, Marilyn Monroe, King Charles I. He even has a piece of hair or a lock of hair taken from Abraham Lincoln on his deathbed, and it's complete with specks of dried brain matter. I mean, I had to tell you that. I know it's weird, but I had to tell you that. What, I'm going to leave that part off? I mean, there'd be somebody out there that would know it had some Lincoln's brains on the hair, and they said, why didn't you tell them that? And I said, I was afraid I was going to offend somebody, but I'm not afraid to offend anybody. How about that? I'm just not. I mean, I'm getting more and more offensive to myself recently. So, all right, Idaho. This one's weird. Farthest distance to blow a pea. On October 8th, 2022, in Boise, Idaho, David Rush blew a single green pea 84 feet and 11 inches. And this feat earned him the world record for the farthest distance to blow a pea. That's the official thing. And it was accomplished with just one breath. Okay, but he was allowed to break up that breath into a few shorter bursts. But it was this guy's 250th Guinness World Record. And most Guinness World Records wasn't one of them. But the person who has the most Guinness World Records is a guy named Ashrita Furman, who has set more than 700 records since 1979. What do these people do for a living? Anything? I don't think they do anything for a living. This must be somebody who inherited a lot of money or something, and they've got time to blow peas, I guess. It's just ridiculous. All right, Alabama. Now this one's pretty cool for something weird. We have the highest number ever counted out loud. How high you think you got, Matt?
I don't even know. Like,
Now he's got to do it out loud, right?
yeah. I mean, I'd be impressed if he got 1 million. I don't know.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, okay. Well, in June of 2007, Jeremy Harper of Birmingham, Alabama, set up a live stream in his apartment. Then he started counting. People around the world watched him utter more than 11,000 numbers a day on average. Some viewers even sent him stuff. They sent food, money, a yo-yo, certain donations, all of which he gave to charity, came with goofy requests like do a chicken dance while you're counting. No. But after 89 days without seeing the sun, without any privacy except for bathroom breaks, he hit 1 million. And with that, he earned the Guinness World Record for the highest number ever counted out loud. I mean,
Now, I know what you're thinking. You think that I probably knew that that was going to be the answer, but I didn't. That just seemed like a good stopping point.
Matt knew.
I really didn't. I swear I did not. I did not look.
Well, for me, if I was doing that, 1,000 would have seemed like a good stopping point. I mean, can you imagine 987,423. 987,424. It would be getting old there, man. That would be getting old. Okay. Kansas. Seemed like somebody get hurt doing this, but, it's not my record. Most people leapfrogged over in a single bound. Now, how many would you think, Matt? 1 million? How many do you think? How many do you think the record?
So this is going all at once.
Yeah, in a single bound. You put your hands on the person in front of you and leapfrog him, or leapfrog 2, or leapfrog 3. What do you think the record would be for a frog leaper?
5.
5 million or just 5? Okay. In 2000, the year 2000, a teenager named Andy Wiltz wowed the crowd of a variety show at a high school in Topeka, Kansas by leapfrogging over 4 people. No trampoline, no nothing, just a running start and a really good push off from the shoulders of the first guy in line. But he didn't stop there. The next leap, he did over 6 people. Then 8. Then 9. And finally 10. And to this day, that's still the record for most people leapfrogged over in a single bound. And you know what? I think that's plenty. I think that's a good number when we retire that record. Florida. This one was the most weird. And no, it wasn't the most weird. I've got the most weird to come. Okay, but this one was just kind of weird to me. Just because weddings are kind of weird, I guess. But Florida has the most bridesmaids to one bride ratio. Tina Ackles and Thomas Rogers tied the knot in Safety Harbor, Florida in 2015. All right, how many bridesmaids do you think she had?
12.
12. Million? No, just 12. Okay. Their wedding party was larger than many couples' entire guest list. This woman had 168 bridesmaids, breaking a record for most bridesmaids to one bride. She was a member of the American Business Women's Association, and she and her husband decided to pair the visiting the association's annual conference with their wedding. I mean, 167? It's 167? 168. 168 bridesmaids. But you know what they said was the good thing? Is that at least the bridesmaids could wear their dress again. That's what they said. That they could wear it for the rest of their lives. That's just weird. Okay. Next state. Kentucky. Now this is weird, but I would like to see it. Okay. Kentucky has the Guinness Book of World Records for the largest religious-themed miniature golf course in Lexington, Kentucky. This is home to the world's largest religious themes putt-putt, okay? And it's located at the Lexington Ice Center and Sports Complex, and it's called Fairway to Heaven. There are three 18-hole putt-putt courses, three 18-hole miniature golf courses, 54 holes in total, and each hole is inspired by a different scene from the Bible. You got Noah's Ark, David and Goliath, Jonah and the whale, Jesus changing the water into wine, and the first course focuses on the Old Testament, and the second is the New Testament, and the third is miracles. I think I'd go play all three. You got the Old Testament first, so you got Mad God first. Mad God with the bushes that burn for no reason, and you brought your wheat in wrong, you're dead. There's a lot of those things in the Old Testament. It's like, wow, okay, Moses hit a rock instead of talking to it, and you're out. You're never seeing the promised land. So, but then then the New Testament golf course. So there'd probably be some aggravations on the Old Testament golf course. There would be some things like, I don't know, somebody throwing firecrackers at your feet or something, just something to mess with you. But then the New Testament course, that's Happy God. There's Happy God there. People that were dead are coming back alive, and you thought you just had a glass of water, and now it's wine. I mean, that's so Happy God in the New Testament, and then the miracles. Those are all. But the 18th hole there on the miracles course they call it the leprosy hole. So kind of weird there. All right, Mississippi. Now, this is one that if you thought about hard enough, you could guess. Tommy, you ready for Mississippi? This is your state. Mississippi has the record for most people ringing cowbells simultaneously. Now, I I put the explanation on this, but I've got to say, I kind of disagree with this record, and here's why. So every year, Mississippi State University, they kick off the football season with this big pep rally called the Cowbell Yell. And in 2015, the students set this new Guinness World Record for most people ringing cowbells simultaneously. And the total was 5,748. Which smashed the previous record of 640, which was set in Switzerland. Who knew they were Bulldog fans in Switzerland? But here's the problem I've got with that: 5,700 and something, and that's the record. And yet, and that was at the pep rally. And yet, you go to the game the next day, and there'll be 40,000 people ringing cowbells. So why didn't they count them? I'm not saying, I'm just saying. This is not the weirdest one, but this is the funniest one to me. Montana has the record for the largest festival of testicles. For 35 years, the Rock Creek Lodge in Clinton, Montana was home to the Testicle Festival, a celebration involving live music, alcohol, and the excessive consumption of deep-fried bull testicles. Each year, now get this, for all these years, each year, an estimated 5,600 pounds, more than 2.5 tons of gonads are eaten by these people, by testicle enthusiasts, I guess they would be. The organizers finally quit the festival in 2018 due to what they deemed a negative community reaction, fights, lawsuits, and safety issues. Yeah, you get people fighting over testicles, man. I mean, that can get violent. Washington, D.C. Ready for this one? The longest union name in history. In Washington, D.C., a labor union took the record for the longest name. It was the International Association of Marble, Slate, and Stone Polishers, Rubbers, and Sawyers, Tile and Marble Setters, Helpers, and Marble Mosaic and Terrazzo Workers Helpers. The union's no longer active, but they have the record. And they're probably no longer active because, I mean, how would you chant that during a strike? I mean, if you're striking, I mean, you're carrying signs and you're going, we're the International Association of Marble, Slate, and Stone Polishers, Rubbers, and Sawyers, Tile and Marble Setters, Helpers, and Marble Mosaic and Terrazzo Workers, Helpers. We demand more. And then start it again. How are you going to chant that? That would be exhausting. North Dakota holds the record for most people making snow angels simultaneously. Now, this is a lot of people. How many would you think?
Well, I don't know. North Dakota's probably only got about, 40,000 people in the whole state? I don't know.
No, that's both Dakotas.
That's both Dakotas?
Yeah, that's both.
I couldn't guess. I have no idea.
All right. Well, North Dakota's famous for a few things, and a lot of them are related to how cold it gets in the winter, which makes it I guess a fitting place to have the record for the most people making snow angels. This feat was accomplished in 2007 when 8,962 people all got together and make snow angels. Now, this is just how my brain works. I would think if you got 8,000 8,900 and whatever it was, 8,962 people. I wouldn't have started until I got 38 more people. I mean, why wouldn't you say 9,000? I mean, now you have to say almost 9,000, but not really 9,000, but almost. All right, California. This is weird, but what would you expect, right? All right, California has the world's record for most bobby pins in a beard. And no matter what you think, no matter what number you think might earn somebody a record for most bobby pins in a beard, whatever you're thinking is too low. There's this hairstylist in California named Dean Banowitz, and he is evidently known as the Hollywood hair guy. But he currently holds the title of bobby pins in a beard at one time. On July 21st, 2021, coming out of COVID, nothing else to do, the dude put 4,831 bobby pins in his beard. And then went to LAX and tried to walk through a metal detector. I'll bet. Ohio. This is a dubious thing, I think, but it still was weird enough to make the list. Ohio holds the record for fastest time to dig a grave. Everybody's got to go sometime, but if you want to get in the ground as quickly as possible, you might consider hiring a guy named Jose Luis Rivera. In 2018 in Cleveland, he put his digging skills to the test. Just him and a shovel, he was able to dig a person-sized grave in exactly 2 hours. Well, that's got to be perfect dirt to do that, I'm thinking, to be able to do that in 2 hours. I'm not sure I could dig a grave in 2 days, especially if somebody's making me dig my own grave, you know? I mean, you know how they do that in the movies? Here's a shovel, dig your grave. And I'd be going, ooh, there's a little speck of dirt. That's what speck of dirt. Well, if I'm going to dig it, I'm going to dig it slow. South Dakota. South Dakota has the fastest temperature changes. January 22nd, 1943, in Spearfish, South Dakota, the temperature went from 4 degrees to 45 degrees in 2 minutes. And then a couple hours later, when the temperature was up to 54 degrees, it plummeted to -4 in 28 minutes. Glasses actually cracked. Can you imagine from 58 degrees to minus for 54 degrees to -4? So that's a 58-degree swing in 27 minutes. Tennessee. You Tennesseans can be proud of this one. Most balloons burst by mouth. How do you even think of that? How, Sharita Furman, who is the one who has 700 records, set a Guinness World Record by popping 40 balloons in 30 seconds using only his mouth. I guess if you got 700 Guinness Book of World Records, you got 700 records, you're just thinking of anything. I mean, having a record for the longest time to hold your left hand on glass. Is that in the book? Is that in the book? Okay, let's set it today, I mean, I guess you think popping balloons with your mouth, 40 in 30 seconds? Hi. I mean, why not see how many balloons you can pop in 1 minute? He did that. He did that. And he was in Malaysia in 2020. I'll bet you anything this guy, I'll bet you anything that municipalities or conventions, I bet you anything people hired this guy to come in and try to break a record for their association or their group, or I'll bet you anything, because he has 700. He broke one in Tennessee, and now in Malaysia in 2020 he popped 64 in a minute with his mouth in Malaysia. Okay, here we go. And then he also holds the record for most balloons popped by sitting on them. And he did 50 in 30 seconds, did that in New York. And then most balloons burst with a fork, 197 in 1 minute, and he did that in London. I'm telling you, people are paying this guy. This guy's making his living setting world records. I'll bet. Utah. Oh, Heather, here we go. Here's Utah. I know you're going to be proud of this. Most bowling balls held simultaneously. It can be hard enough to hold one bowling ball. Or a bowling ball here, a bowling ball here. Bowling balls weigh between 6 pounds for the kiddie ones to 16 pounds. How many bowling balls do you think the dude held, Matt? How many? A million? What do you guess? I mean, think about, hold on, you got one here, one in the middle.
You got to balance them. Maybe like 9?
9? Whew, 9. All right, well, this dude, Chad McLean, held 16. How do you hold 16 times, if they just average 10 pounds, that's 160 pounds you're holding right there. Brigham City, Utah. 16 bowling balls held simultaneously. This will go as my most interesting one. Okay, we're getting down to it now. Virginia. This has the most interesting Guinness World Record to me. Most lightning strikes survived. People say lightning never strikes the same place twice. But for Roy Sullivan, it seems to have struck him with almost cosmically vengeful regularity. This guy was a park ranger in Virginia who was hit by lightning 7 times between 1942 and 1977. Some of the hits took a toenail or singed hair, while others caused the skin to burn. But his, he was a park ranger, and his notoriety earned him the nickname. They called him the Spark Ranger. Incredibly, even his wife got struck once. I mean, the odds of your average person being hit even one time in a year are 1 in 1.22 million. And this dude's 7 times. And I mean, you think if he was just one and she was one, how many husband and wife teams have been struck separately? That can't be many. West Virginia, largest gathering of people with unicorn horns. In 2022, people of Charleston, West Virginia, had a gathering of 334 people who all put on fake unicorn horns to set a record. I'm telling you, there are people that are sitting around. I mean, you've seen that book. That Guinness book is this big. And I guarantee you there's got to be people sitting around going, look up unicorn horns. Look up unicorn horns. Any number of people wearing What could we get there? I mean, people, they're just making stuff up. This is, you know, I like the Guinness stuff of like the largest collection or whatever, but some of these, when people are just kind of, I mean, you know, we could look in there and see, is there a section for how many people wore blue hats? And then make one. And then what would you think of yourself? How proud would you be? Yeah, you know, I'm in the Guinness Book of World Records. I arranged people to wear blue hats one day, and we had 3,415 people with blue hats, and I mean, that's what I did with my life, or a big portion of it. That's my claim to fame. You want to be a doctor, you want to be a father, you want to be a minister, you want to invent something, you want to be a mom. Me, I organized people wearing blue hats. I mean, that's just stupid.
It'd be easy. I mean, you could go out to like the mullet toss, have someone just invest in 1,000 unicorn things, and within an hour, you'd have 1,000 people wearing them.
Exactly. We could beat that record at the next mullet toss. We absolutely could. Okay, Wisconsin, the largest lawnmower parade, Port Washington, Wisconsin. 800 riding lawnmowers parading down their streets in 1997. Coincidentally, I also found this one. And I jotted this down because I thought, this is not a record. And so after what we've talked about, I should probably tell you that we could set a record, because it's not in there, most balloons destroyed by a riding lawnmower in a 5-minute period of time, or a 1-minute period of time. Most balloons. I mean, it's not in there. Louisiana. This is the last one. And this is the weirdest one by a long shot. I mean, nobody's even close to Louisiana on this. All right? I'm not trying to oversell it. You'll hear. Louisiana owns the Guinness Book of World Records for the fastest time to model a balloon dog through the nose. You have any idea what that means? I don't know. I didn't even know what it meant. Let me explain to you what it means. And let me tell you the thing again. You ready? Here's the thing again. It is the fastest time to model a balloon dog through the nose. All right. On March 5th, 2023 in New Orleans, who would have thought? A guy named Dan Block clinched the world record for fastest time to model a balloon dog sculpture through the nose. He did it in just over 35 seconds. Now, you might have some like follow-up questions like, what does that even mean? Well, first, he threads a long, uninflated balloon into his nose and pulls one end out of his mouth. He then uses a small pump to inflate the balloon and twists it into the shape of a dog, while half of it's hanging out of his nose and the other side is hanging out of his mouth. And so you win. I mean, you win. Because okay, so what is that called again? All right, here's the Guinness term for it, is fastest time to model a balloon dog through the nose. I guarantee you somebody is going to get a hold of this. Somebody's going to get a hold of this. And the next time we do this, we'll be saying, okay, there's some dude in Arkansas, and he's got the record for fastest person to model a balloon dog out the butt. Probably. By the way, you can go on YouTube and see a video of this being done. All right. Well, that's enough weirdness for today. We appreciate you being with us. Appreciate Herb and his buddies being with us. And what else can I say? Thank you all. See you Thursday.